We talk a lot on this channel about the idea of retire early and retire often. In other words, taking many retirements throughout your working life so that you don't postpone living until some faraway finish line. But what if you're already retired? Does the idea or the concept of retire early and retire often, does it still matter? Well, my answer is absolutely. In fact, it may matter even more, because retirement isn't a single endless block of free time. It's a collection of seasons, chapters, and resets. Just like during your working years, you can and should retire often, even after you're officially retired. And let's be clear, retirement at 65, 70, or 75, it doesn't feel like you did when you were in your 20s or your 30s. When you had boundless energy, it's different, but different doesn't mean worse. It actually may be more fulfilling because you now have the perspective, the choice, and the freedom. Welcome to the UnRetired, where you're not done, but you're finally doing what you want. Whether you're planning for retirement or just beginning it or already deep into your retirement season, this is your guide to rethinking, reshaping, and reimagining the next chapter, not by chance, but by choice. If that resonates, please hit the like and subscribe button right now so you don't miss the conversations we're having every week about building a retirement that's vibrant, intentional, and alive. All right, let's get into how retire early and retire often applies to you if you're already retired. First off, let's talk about the broken model after retirement. During your working years, the old retirement model said save, sacrifice, slave your entire life, and then enjoy in one giant block after 65. The same thinking creeps into retirement once you're already there too. Once you stop working, you just settle into the long stretch of life after work. But that model breaks down quickly because even in retirement, monotony can set in. Routines harden, days blur, and the joy of finally being done can fade faster than you'd expect. So the truth is, just like you needed breaks from your career, I believe you need breaks within your retirement itself. Not one retirement, but many. And when you give yourself permission to reinvent retirement, you're opening the door to the renewal of excitement rather than waiting for life to happen to you. Next, I want you to think about retiring from your retirement. When we talked about retire early and retire often before, we meant stepping away from work in short bursts. Now, the same principle can apply inside your retirement itself. You can actually retire from your retirement. Think about that for a second. Retire from your retirement. In other words, take a season off from whatever groove you've fallen into, whether that's grandparenting duties, volunteering, or even the daily golf and Netflix rhythm, or if you've got a golf habit. But think about breaking that rhythm up. For example, take a 3-month reset where you explore something completely new than the rhythm you've already been in. Step away from caregiving obligations temporarily so you can restore your own energy, or deliberately design chapters like mini sabbaticals inside your retirement where you immerse yourself in one thing, potentially even go live somewhere for 3 months and then reset again. It's not about abandoning your retirement. It's about refreshing it. And sometimes that refresh is the spark. It helps you rediscover passions that you thought you'd left behind years ago. Then I come to what I call training rounds for the next chapter. In your working years, many retirements were kind of like dress rehearsals for the big thing, the big retirement. But in retirement, resets prepare you for what's next. Think about it. Here's a few things to think about. One might be downsizing your home or relocating, adjusting to health shifts. Could be your own, could be your partner's, could be your other family members. Lastly, navigating the changing roles of your family and relationships. Each time you retire often inside of retirement, you're actually practicing how to adapt. Instead of feeling like life just happened to you, you've already built the muscle of reinvention. And the more you practice that skill, the more confident and resilient you'll feel when the inevitable transitions arrive. And let me just tell you, as you retire, every 2 to 5 years, you're going to have some transition even within retirement itself. The next thing I want to discuss is what retire early and retire often actually looks like after the age of 65. Well, here are a few examples of how to retire early and retire often, and that concept, how it works when you're already retired. First, let's think about a travel reset. Take a season-long trip. You could do it abroad. You could go across the country in an RV. You could do a house swap for a fresh, scenery. Travel expands your sense of possibility and reminds you that adventure doesn't end with age, keeps going. You could do a learning reset. You can go back to school for fun. You can learn art, music, philosophy, or a certificate program that you always wanted. The process of learning lights up your brain and creates the joy of being a beginner again. And there's nothing that keeps you younger than starting something new. It could be a health reset. Treat wellness as your full-time project for 6 months. New workouts, new nutrition protocol, mindfulness. By dedicating a chapter to health, you can literally buy yourself more active years to come. It's literally an investment in your longevity. Next, you can do a family reset. Dedicate a chapter fully to your grandkids or caregiving, then consciously reset when it's time. These intense seasons create memories that will last for not just you, but everybody involved. The last reset I'd recommend is a creative reset. Finally start that book, that art project, or that late life venture that's been in your back pocket or in the back of your mind forever. For me, it was this YouTube channel. Creativity gives shape and meaning to time. It transforms ordinary days into something truly extraordinary. The difference from before retirement is important. Now these resets are not just escapes from work. They're deliberate ways of shaping your retirement into multiple rich lives instead of just one flat line. Hey, if this idea is sparking something for you, I'd love to hear about it. Please drop a comment below. What's one reset that you could see yourself trying in the next year? Sometimes just naming it out loud is the first step to making it real, and I guarantee you'll probably inspire others too. All right, the last thing I want to talk about is why it matters now more than ever. Before retirement, money was a scarce resource. In retirement, time is the scarce resource. And drifting is the single biggest risk. Days blur, routines solidify, and before you know it, a decade is gone. Retiring early and retiring often, even after retirement, it prevents this drift. And remember these key resets. Each reset gives you clarity. Am I living retirement the way I want, or just the way it's happening to me? Energy. New challenges keep your mind sharp and your body engaged. Purpose. Each chapter gives meaning, which prevents monotony. Look, I want to tell you, it's not about adding years. It's about adding more life inside the years you already have. And when you consciously reset, you reclaim control of the time rather than letting the routine quietly just steal it from you. Okay, before we wrap this up, it's the concept of retiring early and retiring often, even after you're retired. If that resonates with you, please take a moment to hit the like button. It really helps the channel, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss future episodes of the UnRetired. All right, you retired once, but that was just the beginning. Retirement isn't just one finish line. It's a rhythm. It's a series of resets, a chance to live many lives inside the one that you have left. So here's the big and final question for you. If you've already retired, what's your next chapter? What's your next reset? Remember the concept, retire early, retire often. It means live now, not later. Because retirement isn't the end of your story. It's the beginning of many.